All right, gonna get this going here. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. This is your boy, the OG Millennial. This is Millennial Nation Worldwide. A little sip of that and get ready for this. Because it's Friday. I'm done with work. That's right, I said it's Friday. It's Friday and I am done with work for the week. Got a nice little weekend coming up. Looking forward to relaxing. Looking forward to getting some more food. Maybe some drink. What y'all drinking on? And keep up with this tea right here, you know. I'm drinking this Mullen tea. It's supposed to help clear out these lungs of all this black shit that I got inside of here, right? I got 20 to 30 years worth of smoke resonated within these lungs here, right? So I was told that if I drink this tea called Mullen tea, it'll help clear it out. So that's what we're doing. You know, if you're smoking, you might want to try and give it a try as well. Oh man, I got my tea though right now. I ate my pizza, 2 bowls down and 1 finger up. This is our show. Get ready. Again, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you to Millennial Nation Worldwide, right? Thanks for tuning in, millennials, and everybody else who's coming along for the ride. It's a little journey and view the world through the way I view the world. I'm going to be talking about some fun stuff. We're going to have some fun stuff. This little topic's going to be mostly revolving around combat sports. I like combat sports. I'm going to do a little bit of wrestling talking. We're going to do some comparing of AEW DYNAMITE versus Monday Night Raw this week. We're going to do some insights to 3 big fights that are possibly happening this year in the boxing ring. We're going to do a little bit of flashing back and do Millennial Nation, Millennial Moment Flashback, year 2000, right? I graduated high school in the year 2000, so that tells you where I'm at on that ladder. But anyways, I guess just to start off the show, right? We're going to go into this millennial moment. I got some interesting facts, right? Going into this millennial moment, these interesting facts are going to revolve around a couple things. It's going to revolve around music, right? We're going to look at Billboard's top songs that were going down in the year 2000. We're going to look at a few of the top movies at the time. And we're going to talk about TV shows, man. There were a lot of popular TV shows happening in the year 2000. Give you a trivia question right now for you guys. Who was the president in the year 2000, right? Put a little comment in there, let me know. Also, if you can, you know, like, subscribe, go to the channel, hit subscribe, get more content. We're going to talk a little bit about some songs first. Yeah, we'll get into the songs first, and then we'll do the movies, and then we'll do the TV talk. So let's see. If I wanted to give credit, it's Billboard and then also IMBD for the TV results, and then the Google AI for a lot of the other facts. This is where I got it from, so that's my source. And so starting off, we got number 1 song 2000 was Breathe by Faith Hill. Number 2 was Smooth by Santana, followed by Maria Maria, also a Santana song. I Want to Know by Joe came out. That was a very popular one. And then another one was Everything You Want by Vertical Horizon. And that's actually one where I'm going to have to go online and search that song, because I don't remember that song off the top of my head, but I feel like if I heard it, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know that song for sure. But essentially, it seems like Carlos Santana was the one who took it away during the year 2000 when it came to music. I mean, Billboard gave him 2 out of the top 5 spots, you know, with the song Maria Maria. That was very popular. I'm not going to sing it because I'm not a singer, but another one was Smooth. Both of these songs they had collaborations on. And for Faith Hill taking it number 1 with Breathe, like that's pretty good. I give her credit. Couple other notable songs from the year 2000, right? We got Bent by Matchbox 20. Uh, Say My Name by Destiny's Child was top 10. And closing it out was Amazed by Lone Star. So those are some of your songs for 2000. If you were thinking about some songs, right, and you could remember some songs, what were some songs that you were listening to in 2000, right? Put them on the list. Hydration. All right. So, anyways, moving on. So, we got some award winners for movies. I went to IMDb for these mostly, and Google AI. The number one movie. Can you guess what it was? In the year 2000, everybody was watching Gladiator. Gladiator, man. Russell Crowe, I believe, was the main star in that. Wow, what a story, man. It's deserving of number one for sure in my book. In 2000, I was still in 2026, a great movie, right? But here are some other ones. Chocolat came in second. I'm not familiar with that one, but I'm familiar with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Like, I remember that movie, and that took third. Um, and most of these are by awards, right? I looked it up by the ones who won awards that year. So Castaway was another one. Love and Basketball was another one. Um, Requiem for a Dream was another one. I didn't personally see that one in the theaters or anything, but I saw it on tape. Maybe a DVD burner. Now that I think about it, yeah, it might have been on like a burned DVD at the time, right? So uh, that was a crazy movie, man. It taught me a little bit about the drug world. And later on, I experimented with some of those drugs. So, like, yeah, I could attest for a little bit of it, right? That shit fucks up your teeth for sure, for sure. But, anyways, moving on, right? Moving on to some TV stuff, right? This is gonna be more subjective, right? Like when I went to Google AI, it said West Wing was number one for some reason. When I go to IMDb, it says that Everybody Loves Raymond was number one, right? But if I go to a different section in IMDb, it says that The Wire was number one. So, TV shows is gonna be a little bit more subjective. But the interesting thing is some of the other ones that didn't make the top. The three that did make the top all happened to be like, or three out of the four were all NBC shows, right? So uh, there was one though. I think it was The Wire that was ABC. It was either The Wire or West Wing. One of those two shows was ABC. But either way, Sopranos was another popular one, right? Now more into my speed. Some other ones were Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? A couple more. A couple more shows. Some of these shows back in 2000 were super popular. These were the ones I was thinking of earlier. It was ER, Friends, and Frasier, right? In the year 2003, very popular, all NBC shows. So the other top show that I mentioned, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that's an ABC show. So other ones though, Malcolm in the Middle, right? For the younger millennials, middle millennials, right? We had Malcolm in the Middle. Ladies, I'm sure you guys were probably watching the Gilmore Girls, right? Men, you were probably watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? One Tree Hill was another popular one. OC, but most popular in my book was Survivor. Survivor was good until they got to the eating portion, and then I had to change the channel. But Joe Rogan is my idol now, or at least one of them, for his freedom of speech, mentality. And I follow Joe Rogan. He's a good guy. But moving on, cartoons were big for me in the year 2000, being 18, 19 years old, graduating high school, getting ready to start the world. I was still staying with my mom for a little bit, getting ready to start a venture into, at the time, was going to be going to the Navy. That plan got changed, though, due to marijuana smoking reasons and failure of drug testing. Before reapplying, I went and got to the sales job and then started doing business to business sales, advertising and marketing. So That's how it started for me in the year 2000. But some other cool things that happened in 2000. Super Bowl winners, the St. Louis Rams beat the Titans, right? Uh, Major League World Series, Yankees beat the Mets. NBA Finals, the Lakers beat the Indiana Pacers. And Stanley Cup, we got the New Jersey Devils. They beat the Dallas Stars for the Stanley Cup in the sports. So back to the cartoons, though. If I if I were really honest with myself, I would say I spent more times watching cartoons than I did anything else in the 2000s, right? So a lot of these cartoons that I'm gonna go over right now, I'm sure a lot of people my age were watching right along with me. So aside from the adult cartoons, Japanese anime was really popular at the time too. So Futurama, The Simpsons, uh, X-Men Evolution, Family Guy, The PJs, Yu-Gi-Oh, what is it? Inuyasha. I can never pronounce it, but that was one of those Cartoon Network ones. Came on during the anime 2 hour block on the was that Cartoon Network? Anyways, some other ones. Aqua Teen Hunger Force was another one. So those are what a lot of people were watching when it came to cartoons during the 2000s. If you were probably a teenager or a young adult, maybe even like a very young baby boomer, you were probably still watching The Simpsons and Futurama. Yeah, you would be the youngest baby boomer generation, right before Gen X took over. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, like I said earlier, there was a bunch of stuff that happened, but some real news that happened in 2000. Um, is it was the end of George H.W. Bush, right? And the beginning of, no, I'm sorry, I had that backwards. In 2000, it was the end of the Bill Clinton era and the beginning of the George W. Bush era. Yeah, that's right. I kind of brain farted and was going to go to George H.W. to Bill Clinton, but nah, it's backwards on that one. And yeah, this was most important. I remember a little bit back in 2000, the election battle. There was a problem in Florida that happened. They had to do a recount, right? Because I guess there was some stuff that happened when it came to voting or whatever. And I remember Al Gore because I was like for the Democrats at that time. Like Al Gore, yeah, all right, he seemed like a good guy following Bill Clinton, vice president or whatever, all about the Greenpeace and all that shit, But that recount was triggered because of Y2K. Oh, you can't think of the year 2000 without thinking of Y2K, right? Like everybody went crazy. It is amazing how crazy not just America, but the entire world went when they thought that everything was going to crash, right? So much hope. There was so much hope in technology at that time. So it's very funny to see how 26 years later, nothing's changed. We're just as reliant on this stuff as we were back then. But now that some people have never experienced life without some of this stuff, this great technology and um, high speed internet and whatnot, that if it goes down, we and mostly you are probably going to be screwed because I know that I got to do some survival shit and I'm willing to do it, but are you? Oh, man. Um, on some real shit though, from Y2K to Y2J. Yeah, it's my segment transition, right? Look at fucking old school millennial. I would do this shit on paper and pen, right? Professional. I should probably rely more on technology. Get my buddy at Core Entertainment to build me some AIs. Yeah, I need some AIs. Get some AIs in my life, right? Nah. Oh man. What are you guys doing out there, man? Like, comment, and subscribe. Now's your opportunity. Real quick, go to the channel, hit subscribe. I'm gonna break this mostly down into cut and edited videos because I can't stream live yet. Once I'm able to start streaming live though, on YouTube, I think the content will be faster and smoother probably. The YouTube Studio got some editing features I'm sure I'd be able to use because right now I'm just using the basic video editors. But anyways, so what we're gonna do now is transition into a little bit of action. Before I get into the comparison between AEW Dynamite and No, you know what? Let's just get into it, man. I guess just to start off, watching Monday Night Raw this week, a lot of talking. Gunther went out there and did some talking. The girls, Liv Morgan and Stephanie Becker, did some talking and then scrapped a little bit. AJ Styles came out and retired and did a lot of talking. The best match, and I think probably only match I can remember, was Kofi Kingston versus Javon Evans. That was a good match, and I think Javon Evans had a chance to learn from Kofi. I think he had a chance to learn a lot from Kofi in that match. Um, but I don't really have too much that stuck out besides the AJ Styles retirement, right? Like, that's the only thing that I could really remember off the top for Monday Night Raw. That's just like 4 or 5 days ago. Like, I had to go to the highlights and rewatch the highlights, honestly, to remember, like, as opposed to AEW. Like, watch, I'm about to run down some of the people on AEW, and I didn't even have to write it down. I just remember the fight because they're the comparison between the two. With one, one has no fights, one has a whole bunch of fights, right? So uh, the problem is for the other one, it's not too many people who I care about, right? So like when I look at AEW, like John Moxley, he's like my favorite wrestler, right, in AEW. And to be honest, the only reason why I even started watching AEW was because of him. Like, I'm a big Shield fan, and so when Dean Ambrose came over and he became John Moxley, I was like, all right, I buy the John Moxley. I bought the first pay per view. First time I bought a pay per view in like since I was a kid, right? I don't even think I ever bought a pay. I think I was still living with my parents last time a pay per view got bought. But I will still continue to follow AEW now, not just for John Moxley, but for MJF also, but primarily for John Moxley. And he started it off. He had a match against a guy named Clone, right? He was one of the Don Callis guys. It was a typical match. Brody King had a match. It was a pretty active match against Mark Davis. Orange Cassidy had a match. The girls had a match. Willow Nightingale and that tag team against Megan Bayne and that tag team. And then there was the main event. What did they call it? They called it something. They were in Detroit. What does that say called? The Mile High. That's what it is. Mile High Madness. That's what they called it. And it was a 5-on-5 good guys versus bad guys. Jumbled up teams. I kind of didn't like that because you had the Rascals, which is a 3-man team, and then you had the Young Bucks, which is a 2-man team, and then you had Jungle Boy, which is solo guy right now. And you put the Young Bucks and Jungle Boy in as a 3-man instead of putting the 3 people from the Rascals in on the team. That just kind of like, man, come on, man. But it was an action-packed match, none to say the least. I kind of wasn't into it too much. I kind of actually watched the Willow Nightingale match a little bit more, right? That kind of got me a little bit more excited. But MJF versus Hangman, that's going to be great. And Swerve Strickland, good or bad, he's my hero. So that's what I got to say about that. So now that I kind of gave you guys a brief rundown of the 2 shows, I broke them down into 4 parts. This is the results of the 4 parts, and we're going to determine who really won this thing, right? It's totally up for everybody's discussion. So first off, if I go with the 4 particular columns, we'll start with the I Heard moment. For AEW, the I Heard moment was probably tied between the Swerve Strickland promo and the MJF Hangman promo, but I think they were louder for the MJF promo, so I'm going to give it to the MJF. And for the WWE, it was when The Undertaker's music hit during AJ Styles' retirement. The BS moment for AEW, in my opinion, was the team formations for the main event. I didn't like the team formations, but there were a lot more on the WWE side. Personally, I didn't like Natty. She kept doing a thing with the mouth guard. She's trying to show off that mouth guard. It's making her look kind of dumb. Bronson Reed got hurt. Jey Uso's headed to the chamber. Like I said, Kofi Kingston and Javon Evans, I thought was the best match, but there are a lot of BS things that happened on the show. The one that took the topper for me was Offset, though. He didn't do good out there. Like, if you're going to bring in outside musicians and actors and stuff, I'm all for it, but I mean, like, oh wait, that was a WWE round.